Today, I'm talking about how you can communicate your value when you are your product. When you don't have an actual physical product, something that you can point to and say, this is why it's valuable, it works this way. When you have to talk about yourself and the service that you offer in a way that affirms the price that you're charging for your work. This is something that coaches are faced with, and real estate agents and lawyers and accountants and even designers who, yes, are making a product, but what they're really doing is solving a problem for their client. All of us who have businesses that are based around a service do have to figure out a way to communicate what is valuable and different about what we do so that our potential clients can understand what they're getting for what they're paying. Today, I'm going to share 5 ways that you can do this, but I'm going to add in also specific examples from my clients and from my entrepreneurial friends who are doing this well. And I'm going to give you some specific tips on how you can make each of these strategies your very own. One of the main pieces of advice that you may have seen out there is to make sure you're charging for what you're worth. Don't charge by your hourly rate, but charge by the value that you're bringing. But that can be problematic because if you're not conveying your value first, you're going to get objections. A lot of the advice is about how to handle it when your client says no or they say they can't afford you. But we already know that once someone has come to that conclusion, they do not see that this exchange of money for service is advantageous to them. And so that puts you in this really awkward position of having to justify your price or explain it or persuade them or convince them that you're worth it. And honestly, I think that feels really icky. I would much rather be in a position where I have already conveyed my value. And I want that for you too. I want you to be able to position yourself in alignment with the price that you're charging. So today we are talking about how you can position yourself when you are the product. One of the most important ways to convey your value is to show up and talk about your ideas and your thoughts about the work that you do. Yes, it's a social media world. Pick a platform that actually feels comfortable for you, whether it's a blog or Instagram or a website or a YouTube channel. Be consistent about sharing what you think about the work that you do. The place to start for this is with your personal brand statement. I just did a series of 5 videos going over the 5 sentences in the personal brand framework that I teach. Each one of those sentences is a way for you to define yourself and have something to talk about that relates back to why you do what you do, the work that you really enjoy, what your opinion is about what is important for your clients to know about what is special about what you do. On this channel, I dive deep into everything you need to know to position yourself with authority. This is what I do with clients. I'm Annie Kipp. I am a coach, a strategist, and a thought partner for high achievers and business owners who want to position themselves with authority and convey their expertise and build a business around themselves. Often the people I work with are business owners and they're faced with this exact problem about how to convey their value when they are the product. For instance, a real estate agent. A real estate agent could get out there and talk about their ideas and their thoughts about the town where they work. They could go interview the superintendent. They could talk to teachers. They could stand outside of schools and tell people what's great about this school, what are the downsides of this school, and have a real opinion about it because their ideal clients are thinking about moving to the town where they are a real estate agent. And that's the kind of information that somebody is looking for. Or if you're a coach, talk about your perspective on doing this work. Talk about the ways that your clients have made progress. What kinds of things are effective in the kind of coaching that you do. Or if you're a lawyer, get on and talk about your thoughts about what the issues are that your ideal client population is facing and your thoughts on how to solve the problems that they are involved in. The second way that you can communicate your value when you are the product is to have a very clear point of view. Your point of view is your unique perspective on what it will take to get your client from the land of not having what they want all the way over to the land of having what they want. And that requires you to know exactly what they don't have that they want and what it looks like once they get there and have what they want. Think of it like two islands. There's going to be a lot of different ways that people can get between these two islands. They could take a plane, they could take a boat, they could swim, and your unique perspective is what you think is the best, fastest, most effective way to get from one place to the other. In order to do this for yourself, it helps to uncover whatever your unconscious assumptions are about how people get from one place to the other. You probably have opinions in there that you maybe aren't conscious of and aren't articulating clearly. So try to get those out of your head and onto paper, or record it or talk to someone so they can reflect back to you what you're saying. And then take the extra step of challenging it and seeing where the holes are in your position so that you can plug those up and have a very clear perspective on how to get from where they are to where they want to be. That's your point of view. When you're clear on your point of view, you can then paint a picture for your ideal clients about what it looks like when they have gone through the process of working with you. Since you're a service-based business, you may not have actual physical evidence of what this looks like, but you can use your words to paint a picture for them and let them hear what it's like when your clients experience working with you. I did this recently in a video without really meaning to, but this is a great example of how you can do this, is just sharing what clients have said to you about the way it feels to work with you. My client said, even when it's really hard, it's still sort of delightful. And that paints a picture of what it looks like. So you can kind of imagine my client struggling, and she and I are talking and we're having this conversation and we're laughing a little bit along the way, and we're sort of finding the lighter parts of the work that she's doing. So she is expressing that she experiences the work we did together as enjoyable and delightful, even when it's really meaningful and maybe sometimes hard. Real estate agents can talk about how a family felt before they started working together, how frustrated they might have been, or where they were in their process, and then paint a picture of what it looks like after they started working together, what kinds of things they did along the way that were different. Sometimes people just need to see what's possible in order to understand the value of the work that you do. I have a lot more to share about this, but before I do, I would love to hear from you. Where are you here? Do you have a business that is service-based where you are the product? I would love to hear about it and know what kind of business you're in that you are dealing with this kind of a problem. And if you have any questions about the points that I'm making today about making sure that you communicate your value, feel free to pop those into the comments and I will answer them myself so that everyone can see. One of the most important things that you want to make sure that you're doing to communicate your value when you are the product is having a consistent brand presentation. We talked earlier about your personal brand statement, which is the way that you're going to communicate what is special about you and different from your competition. But what I'm talking about here is how you are visually presenting yourself, how you are showing up. And this can be within a range, it doesn't have to be that you're always super dressed up unless that is the vibe that you're going for. For instance, often I'm in my office, but today I'm out on the porch and I just thought I'd share this with you. This is part of who I am, and it's another way for you to get to know me, but it's a consistent vibe that I'm sharing. It's a consistent presentation. There's no right or wrong here, but I will say that consistency builds trust. When people know what to expect from you, it makes you reliable. It makes you somebody who's predictable, and that builds trust. I watched a movie a couple nights ago called The September Issue, which is about Anna Wintour, who is the editor-in-chief of Vogue. And I was really struck by how consistent she was. She had a certain style that she wore to work. She's surrounded by fashion, but she had her look, she had her vibe, she has her haircut, and she's very predictable. You know exactly what you're getting with her. It can be very powerful to cultivate a consistent image and a consistent presentation so people associate you with that. And here's a tip that will really help you connect with your ideal clients. When you are speaking or creating content, be sure that you are speaking to the level of sophistication of the problem that they need solved. I have made this mistake myself, where I have talked about some sort of beginner business information and talking about motivation and getting organized. And that has attracted clients that aren't a good fit for me. I am not somebody who works at that level. I can speak to it, but it's not my zone where I really like working. I like talking about more nuanced things. I like talking to people about their saboteurs and the things that are getting in the way and sort of recalibrating their thinking about themselves in this really deep, organic, foundational way. So when I'm speaking on video, I'm trying to stick with topics that really speak to that more nuanced problem, because that is the problem that my ideal clients need to be solved. When you are speaking or creating your content, make sure that you're really dialing in on the level of sophistication of the problem that your clients need solved. If you make the mistake of speaking to a problem that is below the level of nuance or complexity or sophistication that your ideal client is working with, you're going to run into resistance anyway, because that client is not going to be able to believe even that the solution that you're proposing or the outcome that you say is possible is even possible. They aren't there yet and they won't be able to comprehend it. And so the value proposition of exchanging your price for the service that you offer isn't going to make sense to them anyway. So today we've talked about 5 things that you can do to convey and communicate your value when you are your product. They are: show up and share your ideas and opinions, have a definite and clear point of view, paint a picture of what is possible for your clients, have a consistent brand presentation, and speak to the level of sophistication of the problem your ideal client is trying to solve. Thanks for joining me out here on the porch today. Be sure to take a look at that personal brand statement series, which will really help you define the things that you can convey about yourself to make sure that your value is clear. And be sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any uploads. I'm Annie Kipp, and I would love to stay in touch. Check out the description box below for some bonus materials that you can get for free, and I will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.